And our champions are Reed. They took it over!
Reet, Snacky, and Favs dethroned the champs of Arkham Rex and Epic Whale. They won NA West, FNCS, and for the first time this year, there is a new champion on top. We're going to go through, watch some of their games, talk about how they were so successful, and were able to take home the NA West FNCS title. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get right to it. The trio had a huge day one, starting off with a 13 elimination first match to set the tone. They were ahead by 30 points over second place and an even bigger margin going into day two over most trios. But we all knew that Arkham Rex and Epic Whale were going to make a push. Was it going to be enough, and could Favs, Reet, and Snacky hold them off on day two? The trio's calling card was being super aggressive, but not over-aggressing to the point of risking their match. They were doing it in smart ways and then playing for height positions towards the end of the game. They would consistently find themselves in great positions to finish top 5, and not only that, they were executing on it. For the whole tournament, the team had Corny all to themselves. Not only that, but they could grab Risky all the way to Zate Hill and even the barn and gas station to the east of it. The vast area that they looted means that they were going to get several llamas and wound up with the chili chug splashes in more games than they did not. This allowed them to play fast and play for height positions on a consistent basis. Now let's take a look at how they played the endgame. Most games they were looking for a power position to try and play height in first moving or later. We see them do this game after game, and in a couple of games they don't exactly play this, but they bully teams in the mid to low ground, and we'll take a look at that after we watch height. Their go-to move was to try and take height in first moving zone. They did this by using the chili splashes or by padding to the front side of zone and then cranking up, establishing high ground. We can see that done in this example. The trio lands on the highest position in the front side of moving zone, all crank up, and then establish different layers to make it hard for anyone to try and contest them. Then you lock it down and you make sure you're protecting your high ground. Once they got on the high ground, it was clinical. This team clearly knew how to win from this position, and they were able to hold off a couple of different pushes from other teams. Simply put, all this trio was doing was chilling up on high ground, hanging out, spraying down, and making sure that no one was going to be able to contest them. Now, a couple of times we see either Favs or Snacky go up on a higher layer and play ulti high above his teammates to prevent anyone from padding on top of them. Now, when someone does contest them, they do wind up quickly eliminating them, and we know that Reet and Snacky have put some people in some clips while fighting for the high ground, so Snacky able to do that here once again, hold the position, and watch his teammates just continue to tarp ahead. Faz does a great job as the IGL, keeping this team focused on playing to protect their high ground rather than going down and trying to slay out. A lot of times we've seen Reet and Snacky get over aggressive, especially in cash cups or the qualifiers, and they would lose the position. But they've remained very disciplined during these games, holding the position rather than going for that extra elimination or two and only dropping down when necessary. Here's another example of the trio doing something very similar. But again, it's an educated height take as opposed to just psychoing for it. They hit the pad and height is watching them, so instead of just simply contesting, they're going to play second height, get ahead, and look for an opportunity to then go take it. They're on the chili chug splashes, so they are faster than their opponents, and because of this, they're going to be able to crank up and go and grab high ground with very little contest. It helps when you beam one of the players to start, but after this, they once again hold the high ground position, and we can see Snacky playing that higher position up above the two. Snacky's the protector, Favs is the tarper, he leads the tarp, he's going to make sure to go and connect and focus on getting this trio into the next zone after zone. Now, while this is happening, both Snacky and Reet are looking to put pressure down on opponents, particularly on players on second height. The players that are looking healthy with hard builds, brick or metal, in the higher positions are the targets for this trio. This is going to dissuade people. Now, in addition, this trio has also thought out how to play this position. They're giving Snacky and Reet all the assault rifle ammo, while the SMG ammo or the light ammo is given to Favs with a P90. This combination allows them to put more pressure on and uses up all their ammo. A lot of times you'll see a trio on high ground that cannot effectively take advantage of the position because of a lack of ammo. Splitting it between light and AR allows them to continue pressure, and we see Favs do this in numerous occasions. One of the cooler pieces that this trio did was going down together, forcing second height to either fight them for a refresh or go down into the chaos that is mid and low ground. They did this so well. They cut off and choked out any angles and were able to get these refreshes to sustain their high ground position. Out of the 12 matches, Snacky, Favs, and Reet finished in first or second in 7 of them. In over half of the games, these guys were the first place or the second place team, and it's no wonder why they won. Now, the last thing that I want to share with you guys is that this trio was not a one-trick pony. Favs was able to lead a beautiful low ground and mid ground tarp here to bully teams and force opponents off their lair. While they strived and thrived on the high ground, they were also able to play other positions, and this allowed that consistency that you need in order to win a championship, especially when you're going against the 4-time FNCS champs. Now, we do see they are going and bullying people in these mid and low ground tarps. Honestly, a lot of other trios are lucky that they didn't play this position more often, because the way that they play is just full on aggro in these tarps. It's honestly crazy to see that a team is going to be this aggressive during the end game, knowing that there's a lot of placement points to secure. The reason that they do this is because they know and are confident in their fighting abilities, and often when you're cutting off a team, grabbing the better position, you will be able to get the advantage during these engagements. That's exactly what happens here, and they're just owning and pushing through players' tarps. Not only are they doing this, but why it works consistently for this trio is that they're doing it together. Often when a player opens on them or they make an edit or peek, it is all 3 or at least 2 members of a trio shooting back, forcing damage onto the opponent. And not only are they doing that, but they're also going with pre-edit plays, trying to do this in the end game. We saw a couple during mid. Doesn't exactly happen as often in the end game here, but what it does, these guys do thrive and do super well. So just wanted to show and point out that there is some flexibility for this trio in the mid and end game. They are not simply a one-trick pony, and this is dangerous for other people. Now comes the scary part. As good as Reet, Snacky, and Favs have been, and as dominant as they were during day 1, the trio is going to split up for Grand Royale. Now you may be like, oh bro, what are you doing? You not gonna get any better than that? Well, actually, I think they are going to get that much better. Reet is joining Epic, Whale, and Arkram and moving east to go compete in Grand Royale on NA East. These guys, for the first time, are going up on a native region against what we consider, quote-unquote, the better regions. They've proved it on West, and now it's time to move east and show everybody what they got. Now, let's see how it plays out for him. That's all I got for you guys. My name is Somebody's Gun. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.